साकार होते हैं।
इसीलिए बजाज एलियांज लाइफ एश्योर प्लान जो आपके सेविंग्स बढ़ाए और सपनों को रखे हमेशा सुरक्षित। बजाज एलियांज, जियो बेफिक्र।
जब देखो ऑफिस ऑफिस या फिर फ्रेंड्स, शादी के बाद थोड़ा तो चेंज होना चाहिए।
Mr. Varun?
Yeah?
So this is a confirmation call for your candlelight dinner. So 8 p.m. confirmed?
No, no.
यस, तुम पहले नहीं बता सकते थे?
Change is a wonderful thing. Experience it in the new Ford Figo.
Forget checking one by one. Let's try preview instead. Point the S Pen. Content previews. There you go. Galaxy Note 2 Airview.
Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Incredibly creative.
Okay, welcome back. You're watching Trading Calls live on ETNOW. Bharti or Bharti Airtel will reject the top brass. What are the details for that? Let's connect with Gauri. Gauri, I would say on expected lines, the fact that Sanjay is out now, there's a change of guard.
Yes, because that is in fact correct. This is pretty much on expected lines. This was expected for some time now, given that Manoj Kohli has been in Africa for some time now. This was doing the buzz for some time. So what could be the new role that Manoj Kohli will take when he comes back to India? He will be the managing director. And of course, Gopal Vittal, that has been the announcement already that Gopal Vittal will be the joint managing director. This was pretty much on expected lines. There had to be a role that would be created for Manoj Kohli when he comes back to India. He has already been in Africa for over 3 years now, nearly 3 years. In fact, now it remains to be seen who will really be the new boss as far as Africa is concerned. There has to be some kind of a replacement, some kind of a management rejig that has to be done even for Bharti's Africa operations. But this was pretty much on expected lines that a role will be created for Manoj Kohli, and some kind of a structure will be created where he comes back to India in a management role. As far as Sunil Mittal is concerned, of course, he remains the executive chairman of the company. That is pretty much the management rejig as far as Bharti Airtel is concerned. As you rightly pointed out, Sanjay Kapoor has moved on. He will not be with the company. As far as Manoj Kohli is concerned, February 1st, he comes back to India and he will be the managing director. Remains to be seen what could be the new management that will be created as far as Africa is concerned, because that's a unit that is yet to start making money for Bharti Airtel.
That's my follow-up question. When do you expect clarity on that? Because Africa is in trouble. That's one business which is now a big drag on Bharti's balance sheet.
Absolutely, Nikunj. In fact, this has taken much longer than what Bharti had anticipated. They were expecting that they would be able to turn around Africa operations in just about a little over a year. It hasn't happened. Their planning has just not been on track as far as their Africa operations is concerned. And Manoj Kohli, in fact, they felt was a man who knew how to run the minutes factory, which Airtel had absolutely mastered, which is why, of course, he was sent there and he was the head of the operations. But a lot of changes have already been done, Nikunj. If you noticed, tower assets have been spun off into subsidiaries. They have created a lot of homegrown talent as they feel they have done so. They have even applied for greenfield licenses in a couple of countries, and which is why they feel that now is when they will see traction, and they can, of course, decide to have some kind of a change in management, and which is why they felt it was right time for Manoj Kohli to come back, given that a lot of groundwork has already been done. And to replicate the kind of minutes factory that Airtel has in India, the groundwork for that has already been done in Africa. And then, of course, it's right time for a management rejig.
Okay, Gauri, we'll leave it at that. Bharti, of course, comes out with its earnings later this week. Okay, back to markets and back to trading ideas. That time on the show when we bring in Sandeep to chat about his trading call. Sandeep, what is it that you've identified?
A buy in Axis Bank on a little bit of a correction, 1468 to 1460, stop loss of 1445 and a target of 1520. A buy in Strides Arcolab, stop loss of 1060, target of 1118. A sell in Adani Enterprises, stop loss 252, target 235. A sell in BHEL, stop loss 227, target 215. And a sell in India Bulls Real Estate below 7250, stop loss of 74, target of 68.
Let me also bring on board Dhananjay Sinha, Head of Institutional Research with Emkay Global Financial Services. Dhananjay, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Dhananjay, what really spoke the markets yesterday? RBI disappointment, or it was absolute flat selling by institutional investors?
No, I think there is a combination of factors. I would say that, with respect to the RBI statement, I think what is coming out very clearly is that RBI is definitely not embarking upon a rate easing cycle, so to say. So it's not trying to be accommodative as of now. So I think from that standpoint, if the market was expecting that there is a deep rate cut cycle going ahead, I think there is a certain amount of caution that is warranted at this point of time. So ahead of the statement, I think the market had run up quite a bit, and it was taken for granted that there would be rate easing cycle. So I think there is a certain amount of rebalancing that is happening over there. And apart from that, the market had run up quite a bit over the last few months, 1 or 2 months, largely on the back of the fact that the risk-on trade has actually been playing out very strongly, not just in India but also globally. So risk aversion had actually compressed. If you look at credit spreads across emerging markets and also for Indian Euro bonds, those have actually compressed. So clearly there was a very strong wave of compression of risk aversion, and that reflected in the rally in equities in India and across the world. So I think that is on the back of the fact that later in the year, last year, there were a lot many announcements from the Fed, ECB, etc. So all those things had been fairly supportive and infused a significant amount of global liquidity. My sense is that you have a situation now that RBI is signaling that it will respond only to a certain supply side improvement, if at all it happens, and as it brings down inflation, it will respond. So it is not going to put in front of the rate cuts to actually boost the demand side and the economy. So that's one part of it. And the second part that I'm basically looking at is that the risk on may be plateauing in the coming weeks. So it will be prudent to actually prune down some of the cyclical portfolio, part of the portfolio, components of the portfolio going ahead, and would want to take the money off the table selectively across cyclicals and rate sensitive.
Okay. Dhananjay, you're sounding slightly bearish to me, but Siddharth Bhamri on the other side, he's shaking his head and he's obviously saying that he does not agree with you. Siddharth, you're insisting that this is a good time to buy this market.
Yeah, Nikunj, predominantly, on the factors which I mentioned earlier about FIs buying this market and DIs forcefully selling because of redemption pressure. And look at the skepticism. I mean to say, you are asking for rate cut. RBI gave you 25 basis rate cut as well as CRR. You are asking for liquidity. You are getting liquidity. Corporate numbers are not very, very disappointing. In fact, some of the numbers were positive. You are seeing that the other liquidity parameters like crude oil, where equity market has direct correlation, the crude is going up. Whatever the reason might be, geopolitical or OPEC cutting the production, but the correlation is there. You are seeing that euro is strong against dollar. All these factors put together, if every other parameter is positive, why there is so much skepticism? The skepticism is there because you missed out on the rally from 5,600 or probably from lower levels. And that's the reason it is getting difficult day by day for people to accept that this market is heading higher. I may be wrong, but when parameters and data are suggesting that we are heading higher, when market is making new highs, I don't find any reason to be bearish on this market. Yes, there can be a profit booking here and there. You might see Nifty correcting 100, 150 points. But there is no such data which is saying at this point of time, at least from derivatives data and the liquidity parameters, that we will have a crash-like scenario. So in all these factors put together, I would remain positive on the market and hold on my long positions.
Okay, fair point, Siddharth. Let me just quickly run you through what Deepak Mohani is as well recommending this morning. He's got 2 buy calls. Asian Paints as well as Jindal Steel recommends shorting Dish TV with a stop at 74 and a target of 71.
Let's take a break. When we come back, pre-open rates.
Rajat Bose and CK Narayan's technical calls have changed the course of the markets. Catch them every weekday between 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. only on ETNOW. Always thinking markets.
In life's ups and downs, we help you bounce back. Max for life.
We innovate to make your travel experience congestion-free. We envision a greener tomorrow where abundant power empowers you. A future where you never run out of clean water. One with clear blue skies and cleaner air to breathe. Hitachi, the leader in social innovation business, is building cities that are greener and more comfortable to live in through our innovative technologies. Hitachi, inspire the next.
In life's ups and downs, we help you bounce back. Max for life.
Find out which trading strategies you should be betting on. Our guests for BNSN The Stock Game this week are Siddhartha Chatterjee, Ashish Maheshwari and Sanjeev Jain. Catch the thrilling game of portfolio building on BNSN The Stock Game only on ETNOW.
Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy Note 2. Incredibly creative.
Trading in commodities and currencies can be quite a puzzle. Should you look at commodity spot prices or should you consider commodity futures? Does it make sense to invest in dollars rise or is a volatile euro the best opportunity right now? Make the best decisions with the most informed experts, exclusives and the smartest trading ideas with hot commodities. Only on ETNOW.
Presented by MCX.
Welcome back. You're watching First Trades live on ETNOW. It's a situation of local versus global for our markets. Globally, things are looking absolutely rock solid. Dow's now striking distance away from 14,000, less than 2% away from its all-time high. But the minute I look at the internals for Indian markets, yes, the large cap stocks have not have not seen a sizable correction this week, but the mid-cap space literally has been all over the place. Mid-cap stocks have caved in, rate sensitives have reversed, ADG stocks are coming under pressure, and real estate stocks they have been under intense pressure. First pre-open rates on your screen 6074. I would say that's a stretch because SGX was not looking, or SGX is not looking all that charged up. 1476 for Axis Bank. That was the big story on Tuesday. Let's see how much we see in terms of follow-up buying. Yesterday, what we see for Axis Bank was a QIP reaction and some degree of short covering. Reliance is holding on 905. The oil ministry is clearly of the view that gas prices they need to go up, but that somehow has not been a trigger for Reliance Industries so far. GAIL is at 352, 6062 for Nifty. Now rates are looking slightly more believable. 150 for the Sensex. So where are banks, and especially State Bank of India? State Bank of India yesterday caved in. State Bank of India caved in by a good solid 30 rupees yesterday. 2485 for State Bank of India. It started the year very well, but last 10 days State Bank of India has been languishing. ITC and HUL is going one way down. ITC is holding on. 6 months ago ITC and HUL, they were joined at the hip, but now that correlation is getting challenged. ITC is holding on and HUL has been under intense pressure.